Testament, and we see how that was set up with the temple and all the sacrifices. But the Bible lets us know that God began to search throughout the earth, and he looked for someone that would be able to fix the broken fellowship. The Bible says that he looked to and fro, and he could not find anyone that would be an acceptable sacrifice. Brother Moses was good, but Moses couldn't do the job. David was a great praiser, but it was going to take more than praise to fix this relationship. There was Isaiah, but Isaiah, he was a prophet, but it was going to take more than prophecy to fix this situation. So the Bible tells us that God said, if you want the job done right, you're going to have to do it yourself. So God, even back there in Genesis, as soon as he spoke that word, he knew what was going to happen. I began to study. I said, God, this is getting good, but just give me some more because I don't want to look foolish. He said, as soon as I said it, I started getting the job done. I said, well, what do you mean? What do you mean? What do you mean? I looked back at Luke and I saw the 77 or 72 generations. God said, you'll find me right in the beginning of it all. I know that you think that Christmas just came to be and I just arrived. But I came all the way back in the first verse when I told Eve, I'm going to do something to fix this situation. And so I began to look at it. Each person in the genealogy, God said I was in that person. And I started walking down through the 72 and 70 and 7 generations. I know that the children of Israel were calling and crying, and they wanted to be delivered, but I couldn't come just then. I know that the people found themselves in war with the Amalekites, but I couldn't come right then. I'll send you someone else to do the job for now, but when I come, you're going to know that I came. So the Bible says that he started coming down. He started coming and he started walking through each generation. All the prophets saw him. I believe it was Balak that said, or Balaam, that said, I see him, but not now. I see someone coming out of the tribe of Judah. Even Jacob had to say, the scepter would not depart until Shiloh come. What he was saying was, someone's coming. I don't know who it is, but somehow we just know we've gotten some kind of information. We got a text message that God is going to fix this situation. So the Bible says that they begin to look and look. They begin, even the prophets started prophesying. They said, he's coming, he's coming. Oh, the king is coming. Oh, the king is coming. They started praying and praying. And I can see them just getting ready. We don't know what he's going to do. We don't know when he's going to show up. But we just know something's going to happen. In Isaiah, he told them. Isaiah saw him and said he's going to be a wonderful counselor. He said he's going to be the Prince of Peace. He's going to be like the root out of a dry ground. And so he begins to come. Each person in the genealogy, you'll see it's a step closer. It's a step closer. And I know it can be frustrating many times as Christians because we're praying and fasting and praying, but we don't know when God is going to show up. So we get here and God begin to come through. He comes through Enoch. Enoch walked with God, but Enoch couldn't get the job done. Then he comes through Abraham. He was a father of faith, but it was going to take more than faith to get this job done. He comes down through Jacob, and Jacob has many sons. Then he comes through Judah, and he says praise is good, but praise is not going to get everything done. He comes through Boaz, and he comes through Jesse, and he comes through David. Each step he's getting closer and closer. Can you imagine how the earth begin to move and things begin to realize something's getting ready to happen? And then so he comes. And then the Bible tells us in Malachi, there's one last word and then everything gets quiet. For 430 years, God don't say nothing. Can you imagine when you're talking and looking for God to say something? Some of us, if you're like me, I get discouraged after a couple of days if I don't hear anything. But can you imagine 430 years, God not saying anything to anybody? If you know and look at Josephus, the historian, he'll tell you that in between Malachi and Matthew, there were those that came and said, I'm going to be the Messiah. There was a Maccabees, and there was Judas, and there were all these that came in saying, we're going to get this job done. They used swords and shields and said, we're going to defend the city. Oh, but it's going to take more than swords and shields to get the job done.